Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
Hello.
There she is. Everybody right over there, way over there. Instagram, you'll find us on Instagram. You simply search Wilder Show Pod. Then you'll find us and you'll follow us and you'll like us and you'll share. And we'll say thank you. If you want to send us an email, just email to podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. So, like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And we thank you. Dang, Lauren, there's a lot of stuff in the news.
There is a lot of stuff.
I mean...
where should we start?
I don't know. Can I give you maybe I'll do a go-by. How about that?
What do you mean?
I'll give a little go-by.
Oh, like a little outline? Like you're going to outline it first
things.
and then we'll... Outlines.
Yeah.
Just the thought of an outline gives me
Makes you nervous.
makes me a little hivey.
Yeah, because you were an English major. And you
Well,
cared.
listen.
See, I didn't really care. I should tell I can't tell that story, but
that's a terrible story. That's a terrible story for anybody who ever actually read the whole book in high school or college.
I did kind of float along.
I'm looking at the audience now. I'm sure you kind of get the idea of what the story's about.
It was just that. I discovered early on that the combination of the ability to
I'm not saying a word.
the ability
Just
to,
dig the hole deeper.
the ability to I don't say charm, but the ability to sort of BS my way through something.
Yeah.
Which later leads to a whole career in radio. It all sort of made sense.
That's
really.
not why I'm sitting here. Or maybe it is.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I mean for me. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying it's like okay, well,
that's not why it is.
I found a way that you have something you're going to say. You find a way to get the words. I mean, even as a young high school student, I was able to have we've talked before the buffer. You have a buffer in your head, like if your head were a printer. It's printing one sheet. It's thinking about what is going to be on the next sheet. But it's not stopping the printing. The printing of page number 1 is going on while the thinking of page number 2 and 3 and 4 is going. So there's no flow interruption. It's just page after page after page. And as a kid, even not having read the book in the example that you don't want me to share, I was able to find a way to tell the story.
Just go ahead. You've already started.
I'm sure I've told it before, but I found a way to tell the story that I wanted to tell to some acclaim, and a decent grade, not just for me. Let me be on record and say this: I wasn't doing it just for me. I had teammates who also had not read the book, and they needed my help, and so I gave the report, and the teacher at the end of it, I was a little nervous at the end because I never know how it's going to end. I mean, obviously, we didn't know how the story ended because we didn't read it, but I didn't know how this report was an oral report, and so you never know how it's going to end, and so you give your report, and then the teacher, I remember, she got up in front of everyone, she paused, instead of going to the next group and the next group and the next group.
Can I pause just a second again, too, looking at the audience again? This is not telling the story. Now go ahead and finish the story you weren't going to tell.
Well, anyway, the other groups, she did not go immediately to the next group. She paused, and she, as teachers sometimes did, she walked around in front of her desk and sort of leaned on it, sort of sat on it a little bit on the desk, and folded her arms and told the class, "This report right here." And I was like, oh, no. Every report should be done just like this report.
Would you like to offer your services to any high school students here in the waning weeks of summer vacation?
No, you shouldn't do it. That's not the way to do it, kids.
It goes against everything you say you believe.
Well, but
and yet you tell the story with such pride.
No, it's more relief than pride. I probably was working until midnight or something, probably off book hours, not that that ever happened at the grocery store, and got home late and fell asleep on a beanbag chair reading the first paragraph of the book, and then had to get up, and I was at school by 6 o'clock, and all of a sudden we're in the room, and somebody says, I didn't read it. Did you read it? I didn't read it. Did you read it? I didn't read it. We're in our little group, our group huddle, and they say, Scott, we think you should give the report. So I did. For the record, I was bailing my friends out. I was helping them. So...
If not public servants.
That's exactly it, my sister.
Then what?
My sister. All right, a go-by. Yeah, this all started because you said outlines make you crazy. See, they made me completely comfortable, obviously.
I guess so.
I'm not intimidated.
You don't even need one.
I'm not intimidated in the least by an outline. Here are a couple of things we'll talk about, I think.
Something else you said, and I'm really not good. You said how the pages just keep coming out with no thought. That for some people, that's a real problem. You know, when the thoughts just keep coming out of our mouths without any thought. I didn't
really mean not thought. I mean, page 1 had already been considered and was in the middle of being printed. Meanwhile, the next thing is being considered, and it will be printed shortly.
Formulated.
Well, think of it this way. Yeah. Ever be around someone that plays the piano?
Sure.
Okay, they're playing the piano. They're not looking at the keys.
Yeah.
They're playing the piano, and they're also talking to you.
Yes.
As they're playing the piano.
Yes.
So there's something going on there that they could have part of their brain do the thing where they do that. It's not that they memorized everything and their fingers have some muscle memory. Their brain is doing two things at once. So it was in that vein that I gave our group's report.
It's a gift.
Something is up with the president. I've told you this.
You have been talking about this. Tell me more, though. We're
going through the outline real quick.
Oh, this is the outline. That's right.
Something's up with the president. That's one thing we'll talk about. And let's see, how about this? Coca-Cola and the cane mutiny. There's a cane mutiny going on with Coca-Cola. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Bert and Ernie will need a third roommate to cover the rent because NPR is getting defunded a little bit.
There's got to be some other Muppet who needs a room.
And there is apparently a vast left-wing conspiracy that we'll have to talk about. I don't think we can get to all this stuff today, but that's on my docket. Let's start with the president because this is actually in the news while we are laying this down. I should probably read what. Okay, so I've been saying this for a while. I mean, just to you. I haven't said it on the podcast or on the air or anything else. But I think something has been up with the president. And
physically,
there are some physical things that they're talking about today. But I've just felt like something was going on. I mean, I see him, and I've just been telling you something is off. Not based even necessarily on anything physical, just off. But here is the press secretary today, Caroline Leavitt. She said today, revealed details on President Trump's health after photos showed some bruising on the back of his hands and apparently swollen legs. Here's what she said. I know many in the media have been speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit, she said during the press briefing. Yesterday. Leavitt went on to read a memo explaining that the swollen legs were part of a benign and common condition for individuals over 70. So I got that to look forward to.
Add that to the list.
I mean, Lord willing. While the bruising on his hands were attributable to, quote, frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin. Now, that may seem like that's ridiculous. White House says the president was diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it means like the pooling of blood, I think. Okay, so here is what crescendoed in the last week. The president was at the FIFA soccer match over the weekend, and obviously there were always photos being taken of him. Some thought his ankles appeared swollen.
From pictures, they could tell that.
Yeah, well, you actually could. You could, because it was. I saw him sitting next to whoever the other person was, some other guy, and they did look a little swollen.
Huh.
You know, we've had. I'm not being funny about this. We've had other candidates who had swollen ankles and what health things. I mean, it's just funny that all the ignoring of President Biden all that time, where there were clearly problems.
Yeah.
They were never reported. And then this, because I'm not doing a but what about. I'm just saying, this seems weird. Let's have a consistent interest in the health, mental, physical, otherwise, of our presidents or whoever they are all the time. If they're conservative, if they're Democrat, liberal, or Republican, whatever. Let's have a big interest all the time, or no interest ever, or whatever it is. Make it consistent. Anyway, and some thought that his ankles seemed swollen. Then, as the president was walking to Marine One, and you know how he does, he stops and talks to the reporters.
Yeah.
Someone zoomed in on their camera to his right hand, and they've called it a bruise. But if you look at it, it looks more like makeup or skin-like flesh-colored bandage.
Yeah.
You've seen bandages before. If somebody had a burn, you might have a bandage that looks like skin. It kind of wrinkles like skin, and it's the color not exactly of your skin, but maybe close to your skin. From far away, you wouldn't know, oh, that's a bandage, right?
Yeah.
It looks more like that. Anyway, when Caroline Leavitt says it's about him taking aspirin, I mean, you know what that can do, aspirin, right? What does aspirin do? One of the things aspirin does is
it thins your blood.
It does.
Yeah.
It thins your blood. And especially if you're older, if you've ever been around someone who's older, maybe they were on some kind of blood thinning because of health.
Yeah.
If they got a bruise, it was like massive.
Yeah, that happens to my mom from time to time.
Yeah, it's happened to my mom.
She'll have a bruise, and I'll ask, "What did you do?" And she'll say, "I don't know, nothing."
Bump the countertop.
Yeah,
like nothing. But it becomes like a pooling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if that were the case, it could be from shaking a lot of hands. It was on his right hand. From shaking a lot of. Some people probably squeeze his hand, or really are aggressive, trying to be manly or whatever. And if he has thin blood, it could be a pooling. So that's not that big a deal, I don't think. So anyway, we're following that. But in the ankles, I know we've already been told what it was or is, but there are a bunch of reasons your ankles could be swollen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you fly,
especially in the summertime, right?
Yeah. So you could have swollen ankles for a lot of reasons. Water retention. Sometimes when I've flown like a long way. Just got back from a 4-hour flight.
Right.
Those 4-hour flights, when you don't get up at all, it kind of takes a toll sometimes on your legs when you sit in exactly the same spot. I mean, people say you get up and move around because of a deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, you should. On a flight that long, you should get up and move around.
Every hour and a half or so, get up and walk around.
Although, it's different being in the air than it is being in bed. If it's an overnight flight, you might be, given to sleep it away.
Yeah.
But it's different being in the air. It's different being in an upright position.
That's true. When you're sitting up, that's different for your legs, blood and all that. Anyway, but it could be anything with swollen ankles. It could be anything from nothing to see here to wait, what? I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
Don't Google your symptoms. It's a bad idea, don't you think?
I do.
Don't Google your symptoms.
I mean, for some of us more than
doctor.
others, it's not a really good idea for me. I'm not.
You'll freak out.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone would. Go to the doctor. Don't Google your symptoms. I have a bit of a sore throat. Oh no.
Yeah.
My scalp itches.
Not everybody's like that, though.
Sorry, Scott.
I hate to draw so much attention to the way
to change shampoos. That's all.
I might overreact when not everybody does that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, anyway, that's the deal with the president. And I still contend, though, even apart from it, and I don't believe in karma and all that kind of stuff. But, when everybody was so super critical of Biden, I thought, hey, look out, man. Our guy or your guy is pretty old. You don't know. We didn't know what Biden was going to be like 3 years later. You don't know what Trump is going to be like. Heck, I don't know what I'm going to be like 3 years later.
Well, yeah, nobody does. And it also is so different when you get to the age, honestly, where we are now.
But what about him?
Well, I
mean, we get to his point. I mean, it's not he doesn't go from 8, to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4. It goes from 8 to 2 to 0.5, right? Very quickly sometimes. As you saw with Biden, it happened fairly quickly. So that is, but I still contend there's something else going on with the president. I hope not. I hope he's well. But even apart from those things, I mean, those weren't even the things that got my attention over the past few months. It's something else. I don't know what it is. Of course, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he's well. But now that this has been acknowledged, this thing, believe me, they're going to be all over him now about his health, the health of the president. The oldest one, here we go. So there you go. That's the old presidential update. Coca-Cola and the Cane Mutiny.
It was announced yesterday. First of all, this was the headline I saw.
Okay.
Trump says Coca-Cola to switch to cane sugar in U.S., just like Mexican Coke.
That's right.
But it turns out that might be, he has asked Coca-Cola to do this. Coca-Cola, and he asked them to do it and then announced that it was done.
They did it.
But apparently, Coca-Cola said it's going to take a little more than that. That the decision is still. What did they say? Any changes were still in the pipeline. They said we appreciate President Trump's enthusiasm for our iconic Coca-Cola brand. More details on new innovative offerings within our Coca-Cola product range will be shared soon. Not everybody is really happy about it, though. The corn growers are upset because of it's the corn refiners actually saying, what would if you put sugar in it instead, then you take out the high fructose corn syrup, and they say replacing high fructose corn syrup with cane sugar doesn't make sense. President Trump stands for American manufacturing jobs, American farmers, and reducing the trade deficit. If you replace the high fructose corn syrup with cane sugar, that would cost thousands of American food manufacturing jobs, depress farm income, and boost imports of foreign sugar, all with no nutritional benefit. Because it is and a lot of this are things that I can't really speak to. Is high fructose corn syrup as bad for us as they say it is? Is it just in moderation? If it's in moderation, it's not terrible.
I think it's bad.
Yeah.
I do think it's bad. I don't. And the weird part is, Trump didn't even drink Coke. He drinks Diet Coke.
Yeah. Don't let the Corn Refiners Association hear you say that it's bad for you.
No,
because
I know.
They say it's not.
I know. Well,
there's
of course,
no nutritional
because they're the ones that it's like telling people NPR telling us that they're fair and balanced. They're NPR telling us they're fair and balanced. It's the corn refiners. And by the way, you don't have to have cane sugar from another country. You can have cane sugar here. I'll give you an amazing little tip. Farmers grow what sells.
Right.
So if we all move, everything moves to corn syrup, moves away from cane sugar. Don't be surprised if people who decide what to plant are planting less cane sugar and more corn. See, it may take time, but the bottom line is it doesn't have to be imported sugar. I'm a fan of cane sugar. If you're going to have sugar, I don't even like sugary drinks. But if you're going to have sugary drinks, cane sugar is not as bad for you as the
high
corn,
fructose
high
corn syrup.
fructose corn syrup.
And in reality, nothing in this piece says that the sugar would come from Mexico. It just says that it would be cane sugar like Mexican Coke.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But I think maybe the Corn Refiners Association jumped to the conclusion, maybe to make their case a little bit stronger. You're going to lose American jobs if you import sugar. But what you said is true. We wouldn't have to import sugar to replace cane sugar with.
You ever chewed on a sugar cane? A cane?
No.
A sugar cane? Really?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Really?
If you go next time you go to the store, get a little stalk of cane. They sell it right at the store.
I don't know. Do they?
Yeah. Especially at your kind of store. You go to the fancy store. You go to the fancy store. Just tell them to where are the stalks of cane, the sugar cane, like sugar cane.
Well,
we call it cane sugar.
I've never.
It's
first
sugar
of all,
that comes from
I don't
cane.
think I go to grocery stores that are that fancy. But where would I even?
Just in the produce department.
This is blowing my mind.
No.
Why would you? Why would you
that.
even? Why would you need? What would you use it for?
Well, some people you could boil it and get sweet whatever. I don't know. I've never used it in a recipe, but I have. Of course, I used to work at a grocery store, and next time you go, or next time I go,
produce section.
Yeah, of course. What you grow it? I mean, it's produce. It's cane.
Yeah,
it's a sugar cane, and so it's a little stalk. Think of it like what do they call it? Like it's celery, but it was all the way around.
Yeah,
not just a little half tube. A half pipe
that you stick peanut butter or cream cheese in?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really handy the way they grow that.
Yeah, thank you, God. But the sugar cane is like a stalk. It's like bamboo.
I trust you. I've never in all of my years doesn't mean that I haven't looked for it.
It's stringy.
So the fact that I haven't seen it is not really a surprise, I guess.
I'll tell you, next time I go to the store, I'll pick one up for you. But if you go before I do, go there and ask them for a bit of sugar cane.
Okay.
And what you do is you actually chew on it. As kids, we would do that.
Okay. Is that not terrible for your teeth?
Sure.
And so why do I want to do it?
No, I mean, just I think it's good to know this is where sugar comes from. It's kind of fun.
Well, I know. I mean, I can know that and not need to chew on a sugar cane.
No, but you don't do it all the time.
I know where the honey comes from, too. I don't need to, ask the bee personally.
No, but it's like if I said pomegranate. Well, I'm just going to buy palm juice. Well, you can do that, but it's sort of fun to get the actual pomegranate and open it up and have to deal with the seeds and the taste that is fresh. That's all.
Yeah.
I think I know. I think you should.
I think I'm good. I pull the insides out of a chicken before I roast it. I think that I understand how all that works.
Yeah, I know, but I would think you would be very excited to have something that you didn't even know, and now you know at this age and stage of our life, something brand new that you would want to go experience it. It probably costs almost nothing. It'll take about 5 minutes of your time.
I think I'm good, but it's nice to know if I ever have a recipe that calls for sugar cane. I'll know now that I can get it in the grocery store.
Okay.
I get enough sugar. I eat enough sugar. I don't.
I didn't. Again, I don't even like sweet stuff, but it is kind of cool to have a little stalk of that thing, and it's like, oh, it's like candy. It's like God made candy. It's out there. You just cut it with a big sickle and stick it in your mouth.
You had big sickles when you were kids.
Sure.
Just carried them on you, tied them up to the back of your banana seat bicycle, and just riding through the sugar cane fields.
We used to get the pomegranates from the pomegranate bush right outside. I'm serious, by Jay Heeman's house down the alley. And then as we went to school, we would borrow some plums from the tree from Roy Frosch's house, and then we would eat them. Like if you just run it across your shirt. A plum that you just picked off a tree, just run it like a couple of times on the by your chest, then you can just eat it right there. It cleans it enough. Yeah. So and then the cane, and then every now and then you drive riding your bike through a sugar cane field. You grab the sickle and thwap some off and give them to your buddies.
Sounds great.
Bert and Ernie are going to have to get a third roommate. To help cover the rent. PBS and NPR stations are on the verge of losing the federal funding that has helped keep them on the air, say it a different way, propped them up for decades. Over time, local stations, some may be forced off the air while other stations may have fewer shows to broadcast. Stations may have fewer resources for reporting, for news reporting, and educational programming. They only have 4 topics. They only do 4 topics ever.
You mean on NPR?
Yes, not PBS, on NPR.
Yeah, I think that's a slight exaggeration, but I know where you're going.
Maybe
I understand
5.
the frustration, and I know where you're going.
Yeah,
and
they don't broadcast in the public interest, and it's not balanced. And the whole reason that it was even come up with in the 1960s, it made sense then. It's different today. We don't have that same need today that we have now. Do those places like the fact that they get $1.1 billion that they don't have to raise? Sure. Would they rather have it than not have it? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Every broadcast company would rather have it than not have it. But that doesn't mean it's right. And I was looking at some of the salaries of these folk.
Yeah.
Paul Kerger is the president and CEO of PBS.
Okay.
Paul Kerger.
Of PBS.
Yeah, PBS. PBS and NPR are both under the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, right? Mm-hmm. CPB.
Okay.
Corporation for Public Broadcasting. PBS. Paul Kerger, this is a couple of years old, so probably it's increased from this. $1.168 million a year.
Wow.
Your tax dollars at work. The president, and he's the president and CEO. Now, Jonathan Barzilay is the COO, and he makes $780,000 a year. Ira Rubenstein is the chief digital officer, and he makes $631,000 a year. Okay.
You know, I don't know any of
PBS.
These names. I can say, I mean, I grew up watching shows on PBS.
Yeah.
And then my kids in there, at least the first 2, my daughter, maybe not so much. But my sons for sure spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time with Sesame Street. Mr. Rogers, Mr. Rogers. I loved, I literally wanted to marry Mr. Rogers.
Interesting. I've seen some really interesting Mr. Rogers things that probably don't make it around much. Not really memes, but really things that he said.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang. Did everybody who loves Mr. Rogers love this too?
Listen, don't bring me down on Mr. Rogers.
No. It's not good. It's not bad. It's good. It's just pretty flipping conservative.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he was.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, let me go down some of these now. That was a PBS, and now some NPR. The 31 most highly compensated employees. These are not the people at the level where we saw the lady makes $700,000 a year. The CEO, Maher, whatever her name is, Catherine Maher, or whatever her name is. Saw her talking about, the woes that they're faced because of the president. But these are the people actually on the air.
Yeah.
Morning edition.
Steve Inskeep.
Yeah. Take a shot. $520,000 a year.
Okay. That's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
Scott Simon. I've always loved Scott Simon. Okay. But still, $441,000 a year. Peter Sagal, your buddy from Wait, Don't
Tell Me. Listen, I'll
take a shot. How much?
Peter Sagal. I'm gonna say $500,000.
$427,000.
See, I was giving him a raise.
Anyway, go on and on and on. Rachel Martin, Michelle Martin.
Tell me about Rachel Martin. See, Rachel Martin used to. Okay.
$400,000. Now she has a podcast.
Yeah, she does. She used to be a news. I think she was maybe she was on what's the evening show? She was a reporter, I think, or an anchor for a long time, and she moved away from that. I think maybe her in an effort to spend more time at home with young kids, and she has a podcast now. I haven't listened to it very much.
Anyway, so I just I'm glad it's being defunded. Let them survive. Let them eat what they kill. That is the way.
There's much that I don't know about this.
Or give everybody $1.1 billion to run their company.
I've heard, and you and I have talked about this a little bit off the air, conflicting stories about how the money is dispersed, how the taxpayer dollars like, does an NPR station like we have here in Dallas-Fort Worth get as much money as a station maybe in Oklahoma, in rural Oklahoma or in Alaska, where they don't have, I mean, here we have radio stations all over the dial. In the event of an emergency, there are a lot of places that you can turn to get information.
Right.
In other parts of the country, that's not necessarily true. And public radio, it's not necessarily what you think of when you think of a radio station and a lot of employees and salaries like the ones you're talking about there. It's a really small operation, and it does exist. It runs all of those shows that we're talking about, but it also exists for the public good.
Well, we have these things now. Called cell phones, and everybody has them. In those small towns, they got them too.
Okay, listen, I'm not giving a blanket thing and saying none of this should be changed and everybody should keep getting as much government money as they're getting. I'm just saying that all NPR outlets are not equal. Oh,
and I'm not suggesting they're equal. I know that in big cities, they can subsidize in ways. Not every radio station is the same. Some in Alaska have, 5 employees or whatever, and they may get more as a percentage of what they spend. They may get more money from the Corporation of Public Broadcasting than would Dallas. And in terms of dollars, Dallas might get more. But bottom line is, it is subsidized, and the reason that it was come up with, established by Congress in the 1960s, those needs aren't the same anymore. We know different things now, and the kind of broadcasting that they do is different than it was before.
Than what they did
it
before.
Is much more agendized.
Yeah,
I mean, I swear there are, and I've been before in the car with you, and we turn on NPR and honestly, within certainly 5 minutes, but certainly I think also within 1 minute, they are hitting on one of 4 stories, one of 4 topics. They are all the same. Let them compete in the real world. And maybe like if Steve Inskeep is worth $520,000, fantastic. I'm glad. But it does seem crazy to think that the host of Wait, Don't Tell Me, that and you say, well, it's not really taxpayer dollars that maybe pay him. But all the money that comes in, so you could say, well, it wasn't really from that money, it was from other money. Yeah, but if you didn't have $1 million, I mean, it is all the same.
That's what I heard.
He's getting it all or not.
Yeah, that's what I heard when it was first starting to become a reality that this money might go away, that the government, that NPR might not continue to get all of this money. And what I heard from, I mean, what I can talk about? I mean, it was just something I heard on another podcast. It was Ira Glass who said it. Ira Glass, host of This American Life. He is not an NPR employee. He was many, 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 many years ago. But he was asked about how will this affect your local NPR station. And he said, most of them won't be affected at all. The stations in the big cities will not really be, that don't really get a lot of the money for their operating expenses from the government. They'll be hardly impacted at all. That it's those smaller stations in parts of the country that don't have
much population.
And they don't like so much of the money that the NPR stations get, they get because they do the fundraisers. And if you're if you're in Dallas-Fort Worth and you've got a giant audience to talk to get the people to give to support you, then you don't need as much of that government money. If you're in someplace in Alaska and you're doing the fund drive, who's even hearing it to give you the money to stay on the air?
Play devil's advocate for you. Then maybe you shouldn't have a station there. In other words, if there are not enough people, to give, then what is the number of people that you're serving? You're serving a lot of people,
but you and I
you're
both
really necessary, but there aren't any people to give.
You and I both know it is a very small part of the audience that you need to give. But if that audience is already, it doesn't mean you're not serving people just because you're not getting enough from them to cover your operating expenses.
All I'm saying is if we had a world where in the 1960s, we're going to go to these outposts and we're going to put these radio stations to serve the public good. hey, here's a place in West Undershirt, Alaska. There's only 15 people here, and there's no radio station. Let's put a station here, and we'll put programming on to operate in the public interest. Okay, that's not a bad idea. But if you go down a road and you're not really doing the same thing you did in terms of content when it began, is there a need, just because you put a station somewhere, does it mean the station can't ever not be there? And the CEO was saying about 80 stations will be impacted. I mean, that's different from Ira Glass. Ira Glass is saying a very small percentage of
impacted. Impacted. Does that mean that they'll lose all of their funding?
I think she was saying shuttered, yeah.
Okay.
So that would, as we talked about, I think that's like a third or a fourth of the number of stations, she said, that are currently out there. But they're in every major market. I mean, you couldn't probably name 250 major markets, but there aren't 250 major markets. You can't even name 250 cities without a little help from AI.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. So good luck, Bert and Ernie, if it's going to be, Big Bird.
I think Big Bird has a lot of endorsement deals. I don't think he's going to have to give up his place.
So,
some lesser Muppet.
At the penthouse. Trash can one. Oh, it is time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scattershoot. Lauren, I left out a big thing from the first part. The whole, the vast left-wing conspiracy.
There was just too much stuff.
There was.
Do you want to do it now?
No. I went a little long with reminiscing on giving my report in English class.
You think so?
I think that went a little long.
A little long? And then maybe a little long on sugarcane?
The English class thing, I think, went longer than the actual class. No, I'll edit some of that out. Don't worry. It'll all be fine.
A little too much living back in 82.
Yeah, the ball over the mountains.
80?
Yeah, 80, 79. That's right. Yeah, 80. In fact, I was noticing, real quick, just the scattershootish. This will all say, you'll have the rest of the scattershoot to yourself. In fact, I'm leaving shortly. 1980. On this day in 1980, I'll see if I'm listening. What was the number one album on the charts? Not single, though it included a single that probably was number one at the time. What was the number one album bought on this day in 1980? Now, 1980 was when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
1980 was that very hot summer, record-breaking, and still to this day, the record hot summer here in Texas, in Dallas-Fort Worth.
So many good songs on this album.
Oh, I know. I really know. And it was in my parents' house, my house growing up. There were 4 bedrooms upstairs. One for me, one for my brother Don, one for my brother Bruce. And there was also a middle room with no closet, so it could have been anything, an office or whatever. But it wasn't. It was just, basically the boys were upstairs. The Wilder boys were upstairs. My sister, my parents downstairs. And in that middle room, we played darts. So you'd walk through that room over to my brother Bruce's room. You'd turn around, and right at the threshold between Bruce's room and that middle room, we would throw the darts against the back of that door and play darts. And we would listen to this record. And it wasn't an 8-track tape. It wasn't a cassette. Certainly wasn't a CD. It was a record on the record player. And it was Billy Joel's Glass Houses. Such a great album. Really, really great album.
Yep. A Moment in Time.
And that was wasn't Uptown Girl. What was it?
The songs
Still
on it?
Still Rock and Roll to Me.
Still Rock and Roll to Me.
That was the one that I think propelled it to where it was. So right after my high school graduation, right before I went to college, this was that summer in 1980, Billy Joel. And, tonight is
Part 1.
Yeah, go ahead and say what that is.
Yeah, the documentary. New documentary about Billy Joel. It's 2 parts. Part 1 premieres tonight on HBO Max, and next Friday is part 2.
Awesome.
I know.
Huge fan. Been a huge fan. And it's named one of my favorite, Deep Cut, one of my favorite songs of all of his songs. And so it goes.
And so it goes.
That is a great.
And so will you soon, I suppose.
So good.
It's a really good song.
Okay, I'm leaving, Lauren. Go ahead.
You know who Emma Watson is?
Emma Watson is an actress.
She's Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter movies. Yeah. She's in trouble with the law a little bit in the UK. She was caught speeding. She was caught speeding, and she lost her driver's license, or her she can't drive for 6 months. Okay. There's a ban on her driving for 6 months. It wasn't the first time she got caught speeding. And just to be clear, there's nothing else. There are no substances involved or anything like that.
Speeding. Okay.
Yeah, but I get what the way they do it there is there's like a point system, and every time you get caught, this is in the UK, they give you a certain number of points, and once she already had like 9 points, and because this happened again, she got another 3 points, and once you get up to 12 points, you lose your ability to drive for 6 months.
Does it say how fast she was going? I mean, is there anything that
it does, yeah. In this particular instance, she was going 38 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone in Oxford, England. This was a while ago. This was almost a year ago. But she was charged via mail, then pleaded guilty to the offense on March 3rd, and then just this past Wednesday, she was sentenced for the violation at the lower court. She did not attend the 5-minute hearing.
Well, in her defense, she and the rest of them are all used to the speed of the brooms.
Yeah, you're talking about Quidditch.
Whatever.
Right?
Yeah, whatever it is.
I didn't even know you knew that much.
Don't they fly around on brooms over a castle? And zoom down and
I don't know I don't remember if you fly on the brooms or if you use the brooms to hit the ball. I think you just fly.
Okay.
But this reminded me of one of my favorite lines in any movie ever was uttered by this young woman. It was certainly one of my favorite lines in any of the movies I ever saw with my kids. I saw the first few Harry Potter movies in the theater when my kids were still young. After a while, I have not seen them all. Okay. But I had to do a little bit of research to remember what the circumstances were, and to see which movie it was in. It was in the third Harry Potter movie. It was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, 2004. Azkaban, I think, is how we said it. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
And in this, the kids, Harry and his friends. Ron Weasley and Hermione, Emma Watson, they were all right about 13 years old. Okay. And something happened, and they were given the ability to go back to see their former selves from 3 hours ago do something. Okay. So the three kids are watching themselves from behind these trees. They can see themselves from the back doing whatever it was they were doing. And the girl, Emma Watson, she's watching herself from 3 hours ago, and she says, "Is that what my hair looks like from the back?"
That's real.
I loved it so much. It was the truest line spoken in the movie. And when I did a little bit of research, I found out that I have good taste, because a lot of people remember that movie as that line as a very important line and something that humanized her for all 13-year-old girls at that point. I thought that was pretty cute and a fun film memory. Do you know any vegetarians?
I do. I don't want to name who it is.
Oh, you don't have to.
No, yeah, but I for a while I think they were also, what's the one, like the radical vegetarian? What's it called?
Vegan?
Yes.
I don't know if we call them radical vegetarians, but vegans, yeah.
But the vegan is the name, and the definition is radical vegetarian. But this person, I believe, was a vegan, and that means all kinds of things.
You mean it means all kinds of things about what they'll eat and what they won't eat?
I'm sorry. Oh, yes.
Okay, so
what they can eat or not eat or whatever.
Maybe leave that person aside and just think about: do you have an overall idea of do you how would you characterize the typical vegetarian? Think about how do you think they look at life? How would you think of them as a more liberal person, as a more conservative? Go ahead.
Okay, a vegan. You know how you can know if someone's a vegan?
How?
They'll tell you.
That might be true.
Here, a vegan is more likely a cat owner than a dog owner. Listens to NPR. Is probably weight proportionate to height. I think probably tend to be a little more fit.
That's a good thing,
that's
right?
Probably true. Probably some of their medical things are probably more in line than maybe
you mean
some
they
other
have
people.
healthy cholesterol levels, healthy blood sugar, healthy, yeah.
I would think that. I think they probably, one of the really random things I think is probably true. They probably have good skin.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they probably have good skin.
Yeah.
They also probably don't use harsh soaps. So there's a whole thing.
You're getting pretty deeply into
you
this.
asked. I mean,
yeah, and I was surprised at how prepared you were to answer. I wasn't really thinking of the physical things so much, but I think as society, don't you think we kind of look at vegetarians as like really compassionate souls, kind people?
Yes, except I say sometimes though people that are so into whatever, they're super MAGA, they're super vegan, they're super conservative, super liberal, super religious in some radical ways. They tend not to be those easygoing people. They tend to be like, I don't say Nazi because that's an overused word, but we've talked about before how someone who's a former smoker is such a radical no smoking person. You're calling nicotine Nazi or whatever, but they like so radically. It's like, dude, you did this for all this time. I mean, give me a break or whatever. But so sometimes those people that are doing these healthy things, depends if they're a live and let live person, then cool. Yeah. But if they are like everyone must do what I do because I'm doing it, and when I change, I'll let you know. That'd be a different kind of person.
Participants in this particular study answered questions about their basic human values. And it was, this is a well-established psychological framework. It measures core values that drive human behavior, everything from caring about all people and nature to wanting control and dominance over others. So you can look at that. It's kind of, one end of the spectrum to another. So the most surprising thing that they found was that about vegetarians' relationship with power and achievement. I would not particularly characterize vegetarians as being really control and power and achievement motivated, but they are more likely to be. They sought control or dominance over people and resources, scored very high on those types of questions. The achievements that they looked for are personal success through demonstrating competence according to social standards. So while you might think that somebody who's a vegetarian is not really that interested in social standards, they're going to go their own way, that is not necessarily true.
Or they want you to go their way. I mean, they want to control and dominance.
Yeah,
they're not just saying, "Hey, where's everybody going? I'm going to go there." It's like, dude, everybody should be doing this.
It's not like a live and let live kind of thing as much as you might think it is. This was also really interesting. Past research has found that women are more likely to be vegetarian than men, and traditional gender stereotypes say that women are more nurturing. But this study suggested that vegetarians might actually be, this is the researchers' words, more masculinized than meat eaters.
Women who are, or persons assigned female at birth, who are vegetarians are less feminine.
They endorse values that are more typically associated with things that we think of as traditional masculine traits like power and success.
Well, and again, they're
hungry.
This isn't a bad thing. If they are more masculine, it means necessarily they are less feminine. So women who are...
No, wait a minute. It doesn't say that they are more masculine. Well, it says they are more masculinized in their desire for power and control. That they, when they...
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean that they are lifting weights and spitting.
Okay. This study suggests that vegetarians might actually be, in the researchers' words, more masculinized than meat eaters in how they endorse values that are typically associated with traditional masculine traits like power and success. If we think that men are traditionally more driven for power and success than women are, The vegetarians,
women,
female and male alike, more vegetarians are traditionally female than are men. And I mean, the short story is that vegetarians are way more interested in power and success and control than we previously might have thought.
I'm going to put a bow on this, and it will make it all make sense.
Okay.
And this is what I would have guessed at the beginning of your chat. Vegetarians are hungry. I have a burger.
Get a steak. You'll feel better.
Join the carnivores. God made cows because they taste so good. That is scattershoot, Lauren. There you go. I told you could have it all.
All wrapped up.
Scattershoot. Instagram, you find us on Instagram. Go there. Go over there to the Instagram and search Wilder Show Pod. Yes, I'm aware I didn't put anything up for the last podcast.
You didn't?
No, I'll do better.
Okay.
Maybe. If you want to send us an email, just email podcast@wildershow.com. Wilder Show Podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. Instagram, you search Wilder Show Pod, and you'll find us there. So thanks. And thank you, Lauren.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time. Hey there. Hey, Georgie girl. There it is. Healthy babies born with DNA from 3 people. Get ready, thruples. Good days ahead. What could go wrong? Absolutely nothing. We're probably not going to do this. But there was that thing you said you wanted to do in Scattershoot.
Wait, what was it?
You told me, how many more times do I have to hear this before? We won't do it, though. It's funny, though. It's funny. It's pretty funny.
It was funny the first 5 or 6 times.
There was something in a commercial that got my attention. And we won't have to talk about what it is. But you said, there is no one else I know or have ever known who would have heard that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you.
And then after I heard it, I don't even know how many times, I said, can you just tell me how many more times I'm going to have to hear you say it?
To reinforce it. But what was the answer? What did I say? I said 0.
You said 0, but that was not true.
No, it was true. The next time we talked about it,
you paused the television several times to go back.
It was a commercial. So, I can't keep it out of the commercial. It's 3 words put together that if you say them the way that I heard them, convey a very different meaning.